Hello, and thank you for joining me for this presentation. My name is Krystin Hutchinson, and I'm an RN at Weber State University, and my topic is on teaching students with autism. What is autism? Autism affects 1 in 58 of people and 1.7% of children in Utah. Autism is genetic, but environment and mental development can play a role. The Lancet states that autism is a heterogeneous neurodevelopmental condition. Delays in motor skills, social language, and cognitive function are associated with this. They may struggle with expressing and understanding verbal and nonverbal communication, and may have anxiety and can be aggressive as a result of anxiety, sensory overload, disruption of routine, and difficulty in communicating. They often struggle with expressing emotions too, such as sympathy and empathy. Early diagnosis can improve social communication and decrease anxiety and aggression in children with ASD. How those with ASD communicate. Because of nonverbal communication barriers, they may not react to others' emotions. They may not express emotion and may not make eye contact. They are very literal, so say exactly what you mean or exactly what the task is. They may only be able to handle one thought or idea at a time, and may have obsessive interests or behaviors. Certain stimulation, such as loud noises, strong taste or smells, and bright lights, may be physically painful to the student. Communication tips for the teacher: be patient, teach the child how to express anger without aggression, be persistent, stay positive, ignore irritating attention-getting behavior, interact through physical activity, such as yoga, or let them sit on an exercise ball. Be affectionate and respectful. Depending on the child, they may not like to be touched, and other times they may just need a hug. Believe in them. Don't define the child by the diagnosis. There are plenty of successful people with ASD: Thomas Jefferson, Steve Jobs, Temple Grandin, to name a few. Take care of yourself. Take a break when needed and talk to your teacher support group. Teaching strategies. Integrate their interest into the lesson plan to get them more involved. Use multisensory learning, such as sight, hearing, and touch. Provide clear choices when asking questions or providing activities, and create a classroom routine and stick with it. Support and bullying. Children with ASD have a high potential for being misunderstood and mistreated. 2/3 of children with ASD between the ages 6 and 15 are bullied. 7% have depression and will struggle with suicidal tendencies. Studies show that children with ASD have lower health care quality than other children with special needs or children with functional limitations. On the flip side, studies also show that those with ASD that have a higher perceived social support from friends and family have a better health-related quality of life. This population struggles with adequate nutrition due to chronic overeating and pica. Overeating can lead to type 2 diabetes and feeding disorder, which is a difficulty eating enough food or the right types of food. So they may ignore fruits and veggies and just stick to meat and dairy. And a lot of this population has a gluten intolerance. Healthcare needs. 33.3% of this population has another physical illness. 36.8% have an additional mental illness, such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. They struggle with chronic constipation, diarrhea, and GERD. And 30 to 61% also have ADHD. 11 to 40% have an anxiety disorder, and a third have epilepsy. So be sure to talk to the parents of your ASD students to see if there are any health care needs that you need to be aware of. Dangers. So they have suicidal tendencies due to depression and anxiety, and often have self-injurious behaviors. 28% of 8-year-olds will display head banging, biting, and skin scratching. Half of this population will bolt from safety. Drowning is a big issue. So out of children with ASD that have died, 90% of those deaths are caused by drowning. They're at a high risk for being mistreated. And for all forms of abuse, if you notice any abuse, follow your school's protocols for suspected or confirmed child abuse, or report it to the Child Protective Services. And they're at risk for hurting others. Ages 12 to 25 are more likely to show verbal and physical aggression, and this population has little to no awareness of how their behaviors affect others. And then the following slides are references that you can use, so feel free to pause or take a snapshot of any of the following slides. This is a video on YouTube that I recommend if you want more information about what autism is. This is some autistic-friendly class activities that you can do with your students. This is how to improve your class environment for those with autism, as well as grounding techniques. And some things I've seen other nurses do is asking students when they're stressed what color their breath is. And this gets the child focused on breathing and distracts them from what's stressing them out. This is additional information that can be beneficial to you and your parents of the students that you're caring for. These are resources that I found very helpful, that if you're a teacher, this goes over information, education guides, news, resources, strategies, and this one is resources for parents that are local and statewide, and then national resources for parents. And these are my references that can also be utilized as a resource for parents and teachers. They include resources, studies, and current information about autism. Thank you for watching.